Which
First street there.
Yeah,
It was not attached.
I
It
didn't
was
get
sent
it
to you
yet.
on the 27th of
yeah.
July. And
it was never acknowledged. And then it said that the attachment on the minutes, it said, please see attachment. No attachment was ever sent in the email.
Oh, my apologies then.
well,
Yeah, and then it was never talked about at the meeting, so nobody knew what was going on at all.
So my apologies. As I shared, I didn't see, but Kyle and I worked out, that's why we moved to the marketing email, is because if somebody opens it, it flags it as looked at and the other person wasn't seeing
it
it.
was
So
sent July 27th. It should have been.
So, and we weren't at the August meeting to get the new email, so we wouldn't have known that anyway.
understood. So all I can do is apologize to you guys.
I don't think it's been important to you guys.
I wouldn't say it wasn't important.
What was important?
The information that we give for streets.
I mean, nobody was here to really report on it. I mean, we did briefly mention
It wasn't mentioned, Kyle,
whole lot
according
of
to Lissa.
information.
There was
to go on.
information in there.
Yeah, the email I got back from Lissa said that there was too much going on and it wasn't
Wasn't
announced.
discussed.
Except the problem is we've got an event going on that was supposed to be ABA sponsored at the end of September, and nobody could get it. I got one email about interest, and then they re-emailed. I never got an email back.
And in July's meeting, it said across the table from me that this was a library event. But in February, you all agreed this is part of school. Not just a library. It's very disappointing.
I'm sure it is, and I
Very
don't blame you guys for being.
And I will tell you honestly, the three of us are coming off of this.
Okay.
There has been no support for anything, except I will say Sarah Watson came to the night of the automobiles and she worked her little tail feathers off because it turned out to be a lot bigger than what
Say
we
about
got.
that is that's the boat every single one of us are in though.
I'm sure.
There's no support. There's no support for the social media. I can't get anybody. Like we're
agree.
all in that boat. So like
I couldn't even get the money that had been appropriated in April. You know about this. You and Rochelle were working, didn't think that it had been approved.
And said that they would take the heat
Take the
for
heat
it?
for it.
What's that all about?
So I don't
So
It was approved, it was in the minutes.
exactly.
it
And then
was
when
back in
I
February and March.
tried to get a
so
hold of the
that
money,
could have been just me
I
forgetting
was
that it was
told to
approved by
reach
then.
out to
Yeah.
We're
Rochelle,
talking about something
and
getting
Rochelle didn't know
approved
anything.
6 months in advance. I'm not
And
gonna
we
have
could
that
get a hold of
memorized.
you.
Exactly.
Kyle
So
didn't know
like, I
anything
just
about
didn't
it.
remember.
So it was just a whole mess.
Sounds like we need to have a checklist
Well, the
where
thing
we're
is,
there,
like
we're making sure that steps A through
in
Z are
talking to
done.
Tiffany, the amount of energy that goes in bringing 3,000 to 4,000 people down to the street there is tremendous.
Oh,
And
sure.
if we can't even get it for 2 events the street fair is putting on, if there can't even be an acknowledgement, then maybe we shouldn't be putting that kind of volunteer time in.
I
And so
totally
that's where
understand.
we're at. I want to support ABA because we're all part of it. But the library is part of Athens Business Association. No
Absolutely.
matter if you want to admit it or not, it is.
Why wouldn't we want to?
I don't know, when it's stated that that's a library event, that's ruined July. I went back out of that and I thought, really? After all we discussed, that's a library event?
Well, who said that?
It was across the table from me
I think Gannon maybe.
at the Gannon meeting. I just turned my head like that. So all I'm going to say is, we want to help support Athens Business Association. So we're not going to work for 8 months, 3 people, doing all that work, and you know there's a lot involved in that. It's just not going to fly, not a person, it's just not a camera. Not true.
And the 4th person on the committee won't reply to anything. So
We even scheduled our meeting around that class.
They won't respond to any of mine
Yeah,
either.
she said she was coming. The first couple, we
I reached out to her, tried to make sure that it was a time that would work for her.
So she hasn't paid her dues. As far as I'm concerned, she's not about it.
Yeah.
And I
So
recognize
I
that you have
did
this
every
big-
courtesy for her, and then she would still.
Everyone.
That's very
It's
nice
like,
of you. And I, once
I'm
again,
probably
I'm
gonna have to
so
step away
sorry.
from the chamber because I've got
I
too much
just
going on.
just
Like we're
cleared
Oh, you
all
do?
my brain on
all
what you
buried.
needed
Are
me
you in
to
the
do.
chamber too?
If at any time I'm not doing what you need me to do, feel free to just post me and say,
But she has.
girlfriend, I
That's the
need
other
you.
thing.
Well,
She has been emailing you different times and nothing's coming back.
So that's what I don't understand, and I will go back and look. But the only thing we did was separate them out so
She's
that I
got
could.
a Verizon charge.
No, I was
Oh, I'm
putting them
sorry,
to the
I'm going back,
ABA main account because again, we weren't at the meeting. We didn't, there was no email
Sure.
out saying that this is the new.
Right, no, I,
So I guess when you're regrouping and whatever, maybe this is the time to really think about what's important, what really needs to be, and where can we,
which is
all work
perfect
together.
for strategic planning.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yep. The perfect time to talk about it.
I do.
Hi, Connie, do you
Hi.
need an agenda or do you have one?
Sure, I'll take them. I could have put in one else. I just got back from doing the fair, so I'm swamped. So I didn't mean to show up late. Thank you.
So, anything else about the minutes? Or is there somebody want to make a motion,
Sure,
approve them?
sure.
That would be you, Kyle, making a motion.
Can we add in, can we fix the errors in the minutes before we approve them? I mean, make sure it gets the attachment.
Yeah,
And then,
absolutely.
and then we're good with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think, have you sent anything to the ABA marketing
I have not.
email?
No.
Yeah, so I haven't been able to promote it or anything later.
Anybody opposed?
I missed who seconded.
Huh?
I know Kyle made the motion. Who seconded that? Thank you, Sarah.
With the changes.
Yeah, I caught the changes.
Okay, let's plan for improving. Thank you for bringing it up, library folks.
Sorry,
Much
it's
appreciated.
contentious.
No, much appreciated. It's something we need to work on, and that's what we're here for, right? Is because we don't want anybody to feel disconnected,
Right.
unheard, or unpromoted. That's not what our business association is about.
Exactly
And I
right.
take full responsibility. My apologies again. And
Let's just go forward. see
yeah,
what we
and
can
I'm
do.
just gonna keep working on doing better.
We all will. There you go.
I looked at our treasurer's report from last month. And we are actually $100 behind where we were at the start of the year, which is okay because things are still happening, still coming in. It's just as we're thinking about where we want to be next year, keep that in mind that we're not actually making any progress on our reserve. That's all I'm saying there. So this last couple of years was challenging. We know that COVID, while it was going, was obviously something none of us had an opportunity to really deal with our businesses and get them out there and get customers in. I mean, Terry was shut down for months. And the library was doing drive-by service,
Well, we were shut down for months.
as was the center. I think you were, Sarah?
Yep.
Gannon was work from home. How was Penn York?
I worked operational, but we were services, but because we provide, direct service, because they provide direct service, to individuals, it's a health and safety issue. So those services remained, intact throughout the year, but only those services.
Sonny, how was that?
In this month, but center was extremely busy. We did curbside service.
Yeah.
So we went out with the care of people and brought their pets in and did everything through their cars.
Which you're still doing that, right?
We're allowing people to come in if they want to now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They can stay in their car if they prefer, because some people do. And
Okay.
anybody
that's
that wants
good
to
that
come
y'all
in can come in.
Okay.
Yeah, we just asked you to call and let us know what you prefer.
I did better when you came out and got my voice, so I didn't cry.
A lot of people say that. They prefer that. Yeah, Yeah, so we accommodate either.
Thank you.
Anything to
you.
do with pets seems to have thrived through all of this, hasn't it?
Yes, everybody that was home, because they were home, adopted a pet. So
Yeah.
the shelters were like empty, you know?
Shelters have done great, the
Oh,
groomers are overbooked.
Yeah,
It's
but the only
wonderful.
problem now that people are back to work, a lot of the pets are going back to the humane societies because they
Oh.
find that now
Oh,
that they're
that's
working, they
sad.
don't have time. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
very sad.
That's cool.
That's
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
very sad. So hopefully not too many go back, but it sounds like there's quite a few going back.
Oh,
So I saw the report yesterday. Bradford County's not on it, thank goodness, but 67 counties in Pennsylvania are at high capacity COVID again. So as we're thinking where we want to be this time next year, let's keep that in mind as well, that we may have more challenges yet again.
Yeah, we are almost
too.
definitely gonna see another shutdown.
So going around the table, I would love to hear what went right this year, what went wrong. Library folks, you can come up with another what went wrong. And what you would like to do next year. Kyle, why don't you lead us?
Oh, man. Put me on the spot here. Give me a sec to think about it. I'm gonna
Like
go
me to
first.
start?
Yeah, I was gonna say, go ahead.
Okay. So what I thought was right, although I worked almost every Thursday night, I heard great reports about the music in the park. And there was some different music than what they've had, and people liked it. They like to shake the world up a little bit, even the old ones. They had a good time. What else I thought was extremely positive, although it was unbeknownst to us that it would be this positive, was the antique cars that showed up. That brought in so many people. We had 15 cars that had not even told us they were coming. We knew of 4. So you add 15 more to that, and all the people that came to see them, their friends, and Sweet Charlene's must have done one heck of a business that night. And I'd like to see maybe Terry down there with some things, not just Sweet Charlene's, the Valley Ice Company out there so people can get to it. I'd like to see those cars back, maybe once a month, because it brought people, and people of the age group that are down there dancing to the music. They're looking at the cars. They're feeling very young and hot again, and they'll spend their money. So I don't know that they spend it on the 50/50 so much, but they'll spend it on food products and anything else. So there you go. That's what I think is good, and that's what I'd love to see happen, and I'll shut up.
You don't have to shut up.
Sorry.
Who wants to go next?
Gonna go around this way. I was just gonna say the basic same thing she said, that the summer concerts, yeah, they were great. Everybody just loved them. We have lots of real good attendance at it. People are very happy and enjoying it, and so thankful that we did it again this year. Yeah, and the antique cars show, I got there
It's a shock.
and I only saw 4 cars, so I didn't even know the other ones were over there.
We didn't either till they came.
I just see they came while I was sitting there, must be because I
Yep.
didn't even see them come, so I missed it. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, but the ones that were there were really
We had
nice.
trouble parking there.
We did.
So they were supposed to set aside for us in there, and they didn't. So we went into the clinic and said, look, I need your parking spaces. They said, no problem. Next thing I know, we're trying to park cars in the drive-through area, everything, because we had them and there was
Wow.
no place to park them. So that would be something I would improve if we do the cars, is see if the borough would allow us to have an area, because those people came, and when they came, they brought people with them.
Oh, yeah.
People
Thank you.
love to see the car
It
shows.
was
Yeah.
unbelievable. I had no clue.
I'm sorry, I missed it all. I just got to see the 3.
You missed my outfit. That was better than the cars.
That's what
I
I heard.
Did you take any pictures?
Somebody did.
I do have pictures. There was a photographer there and he
Awesome.
took pictures of all the cars. So if you guys want them,
We would
Oh,
love them on our
great.
website.
And
Yeah,
that was
that's
just
great.
something, a fluke. The guy came up and he said he was from Laraysville. And I said, well, my husband went, he knew Harlan's first wife, but he didn't know me. And I said, I'm what came next. And this is what he ended up with. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to speak over you.
No, you didn't. You're fine.
Anything else, Connie?
Oh, no.
So It's Terry.
Hold on, Terry, before you, do either of you ladies have anything that you found as challenges or things that you would like to see the ABA improve on?
That's a difficult, because it was difficult last year.
Well, with
We were just
COVID,
coming
right
back.
now, even at the library, we're on tenterhooks. Because we don't know how long, we're all masked. We don't know how long it's gonna be the way it's gonna be. You know, if you shoot for 4 or 5 things, 4 things throughout the year, that you really make a hoopla out of, like the music with the cars. I think that's the type of thing, do 4 things, do it well. And hopefully that'll open, I don't know.
People are looking for a place to go, things to do. They're
They
tired
are.
of being home. That's for sure.
It's your turn, Terry. That's why we're all
Me?
looking at you.
Okay. Well, I haven't been involved in much this year. I like seeing the ABA working with the other business associations. That's wonderful. It's something that's we haven't done a lot of in the past. Yeah, I haven't been involved in much because I've been trying to focus on my stuff, and I've had a lot of challenges this year.
You did 50/50 for the
I
concert.
did,
and
yeah,
It was good night.
yeah, yeah. I don't really have a lot of ideas. It's really hard to navigate everything right now,
Mhm.
so it's harder for groups.
So
Yeah.
Terry, how can the Athens Business Association as a group help you? How can, because you're up here like we're out there, away
Right,
from downtown.
right,
So obviously that enters into some of this,
yeah.
as it does.
Yeah,
with
I
us.
don't volunteer to work on the different group, like the street fair. I've always done street
Right.
fair. I'm not part of the street fair.
Right.
I'm up here,
Right.
so it really has nothing to do with me.
Right.
I can't take my food there. I don't have that kind of license.
Right, okay,
And
okay,
it's not portable,
okay,
you know, I do lattes and stuff, but
right.
you can't move those. So, I don't know.
Mhm.
So does that affect your motivation to want to participate in events and stuff?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to do all the pots and stuff downtown. I don't
Right.
have a pot.
Because
I've been president, I've been vice president twice. I've done a lot of the stuff, but I'm removed from it all. I'm up here.
so
I
part of
can't
me,
go to
I guess
meetings elsewhere. I have to be here. It's,
my jumping in on yours, because my, I guess, struggle with the ABA is, the other ABA members, who pay their dues and are part of the ABA. And you attend meetings, and I mean, I see that you participate as you can, and I feel like you try. But there are people on our ABA who, they're just names to me.
yeah, Yeah.
And they get the perks of all the marketing, by just paying dues. And,
Really, you don't get all of them.
Well,
That's that
no-
whole incentive program.
well, no,
Yeah.
but I mean, if
Here
you,
it does
if you
more.
put it, if you do enough though in dues, and throw enough into, we need a sponsor or a donation and stuff, you can accumulate things. But I feel like there's not enough people on that list that actually participate.
Is there a caveat in the application that you have to apply, or you have to attend a certain number of meetings?
No.
That might help with that.
Actually, it could hurt though,
gonna say
because
people
there are
won't
some
sign
of the bigger businesses, they participate financially.
Okay.
They don't do meetings and stuff, but you can always
Yeah.
hit them up when you need something. Like
That's what the whole-
Lowry's has always been very generous with money anytime they're asked, but they're not gonna come to any. It's not Lowry's now, but
Right.
Same with
Yeah.
Robinson's.
yeah.
He's just,
Yep.
he's like, I tell my daughter to go to the meetings. Yeah,
So
but I'm not
this is
gonna.
Yeah.
mind boggling to me because I just had you guys send out that entire email asking people for sponsorship. No one, one person replied to me.
The one thing that's gonna help is putting together a like real letter, not just a quick blurb in an email. Something like
Yeah.
I couldn't take that to my accounting person
Oh.
and say like, can I get a donation
It
for
was
this?
Meant to like, you're supposed to come to me and like talk to me. Like, that's why my email was attached to it. Also, that's
Okay,
why it was described in the minutes that I, like the overview that I sent because I wasn't going to be at the meeting.
Okay, I'm just suggestion. That's for every donation Gannon has ever given out. We get a letter. Here's what it is for. Here's how much we're asking for. Whatever. Here's the details, and then I turn that over to accounting, and
I
then we.
guess that's my problem because I
analyze it and
thought that
push it out,
ADA
so.
would have more clout that someone saw it, like, we're doing an event, I'll reach out to that person and see what's going on and see if that's something that I'd be interested in. But, I mean, even if it's going out in the ADA, you would think that it's at least a little bit relevant. It's not, I'm not fake asking for money.
Right, but for a company like Gannon, the person who cuts that check barely knows me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't talk to the people in Tawana hardly ever. They barely know me, let alone you or you guys at the library. You know, like it's
Reach out and talk to you
So that
about,
That's
protocol
what you
there
would
is
hope.
so
That's
close.
my-
right. Like we gotta have paperwork that shows here's what it's for, even if it's just for the process of next year. Okay, did we do this? We all the time I turn to accounting. I'm like, did we do a donation for this event last year, or was this one we decided to skip? And they'll let me know. Here's the paperwork from that
Okay.
event last year. So like we do that with everything,
And that makes sense.
everything.
Yeah, a lot of places just don't read their emails.
Right. I think that's true. And
Yeah.
Facebook.
absolutely.
But like Jay's and Lowry's and the bigger places, if you go there, they're always happy to donate, but
Right.
they don't look, you know.
So Terry, are you saying that, because I'm really curious. If you're asking for sponsorship, whether it be big or small, you're better off going face to face for these larger companies?
Usually,
I
yeah.
think so, yeah. We
But
used to
make
do that with
sure you
Penn
have
State.
our
Take something
letter,
in
yeah.
paper to leave, yeah, yeah.
Would it be helpful for us as an association to have a template letter?
No, I could write it.
Okay.
I mean, I know how to write it. It's just that's not what was. I never thought that was going to be what was asked of me.
Right,
With
well,
that
and
blurb.
who would, yeah,
Exactly.
but that's why we have previous president, vice presidents on, and
I'll
we can
definitely
learn
keep that
from these
information
things.
for
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
future.
It's always been an issue. Like with the street fair, we used to have to go door to door,
Yeah.
every shop in town. Not only do we have to get permission from everybody to
Use
close the street,
electricity.
but then the other things that, and any kind of sponsorship and, yeah.
I find face to face is always best anyway, because people are just less likely to tell you no when they're looking right at your
Right, because
face.
it's almost a.
I will agree with that. I will always, if you come in and ask me face to face, I'm gonna give you a gift card or something. If you
Right.
send me an email, I may or may not, depends. Or,
And
or a lot of times I'm like, okay, I gotta think about that, and I never remember to go back.
I
Yeah.
even do that. That's how I do it with employment too. When I go and
Yep.
talk to people about work for people, I always go in and talk to people face to face.
As far
Well,
as
and
the
like
street
Christmas
fair,
in July last year, was it years ago? When we did that, I sent out, I don't know how many emails. Let's do this. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Who wants to be involved? Blah, blah, blah. And it was, I finally had to
That
close the
was last
shop.
year, believe it or
Was
not.
it?
Yeah.
I had to close the shop on like a lunch hour and just go up the
Yeah.
street and talk to
Yeah.
people. And they were like, oh yeah, I saw that email. I meant to get back to you. You know, so
Right,
it's just,
yep.
people
Yeah.
just are not responding.
That's almost not a luxury that we have because we have the staff that we have to like open the library. Because we
Right,
can't-
yeah, I mean, like I said, I had to close the store. Like I,
Exactly. And I can't close the library.
Right.
Like,
so.
So as far as the student fair, it goes with Terry was saying she didn't feel part of it. She's way up here. But you can still set up a booth. That's what we do. Set up a booth. You can't put food there, but there's there's no reason why you can't bring some of the items in the store that you sell
Oh,
and a brochure to tell them about your services and some of the, just let everybody know what you have. I'd be glad to make up a brochure for you. To give
And
you the
gift cards.
information you want
Yeah,
in it.
and Terry, learning
Different
about
things.
your business was amazing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
learned so much when you
especially how
gave your
that she gives
presentation.
away and does for the community.
Yeah, and,
Mhm.
and telling people that at the street fair, I can't imagine people not wanting to come up the hill to do more
I was gonna
business
say, and then a
with you.
big
Mhm.
sign directing them up here because.
Right.
You put all that information in the brochure with everything and.
And you're right, you did have a tent up every time because you were across from me. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're up here on top of the hill, so we're not anywhere near it either.
Mhm. That's right.
And we have a shortage on techs and vets, so there's no way anybody can help out with anything and hasn't been able to in quite a while,
Right.
but me. So,
Well, and the library didn't have anything set up. We just wore career wear and helped at the AVA tent. That's, I was like, hey, don't forget the library. And you're right, that might help,
oh, yeah,
you know?
I think it's
I
big.
can consider it. It's
Uh-huh.
just,
I could always hand them out.
then
for
I
you.
have to close and
That's true.
there and yeah.
We don't have any,
it's-
like, one of the kids or something that could run it for you?
I don't know. I only have one and she does some hours, Yeah.
Uh,
but
Yeah.
Could she do
Yeah.
the street fair with her some hours?
well, maybe,
Something to think
Maybe.
about.
right.
We'd love to have you down there. Find a way to work it.
Depending on the virus and what happens next, whether we're gonna.
Right,
do it or not,
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, and that's what,
It's, it's has to be beneficial enough to pay
That's right.
somebody
Right.
to
That's
go
right.
and sit there. I don't, it's tough.
Sarah Watson, can you speak up? It's really hard to hear you.
Yes, I'm sorry. Normally I have a very loud voice and I just talk and project. and we need you to do that. So, and depending on the situation, I mean, we don't know where we'll be at,
Right.
at that point. Penn York, they use people, they volunteer and stuff like that. Their school program or, their work program, does, the community assessments, the jobs shadows and stuff, so they might need to learn work skills, so they could also do that as part of a work assessment for you and set up and do that. So,
it's hard when she's the face of it though, and you
Yeah.
are.
That's
Yeah.
right. She's
no, and I understand that, but
Right,
like,
yeah.
there's always just little ways to hook in and use other resources
Yeah.
too, so that way you can get your name out there and still be part of something and not have to put
Right.
up extra money
Right.
and
Well,
still
your
be a
artisans
part of
would
everything.
Want to come and spend an hour or two helping out. Maybe they could talk about their stuff. Have it on display.
By the time we get to street fair, once we get through this coming year of COVID, or whatever that's gonna look like, hopefully we'll
Yeah.
be able to figure out how we can pull everybody.
Right.
There were 47 vendors. From last week. It was almost 100. They walked through. So there's gotta be a way to bring every business into that. And we have to kind of think of it now, make it work.
So of those 43 vendors, is what you said, right?
47 vendors.
47 vendors. How many are normal Athens businesses as opposed to?
There's a small amount, because Athens doesn't have a lot of businesses.
Right.
I'd have to talk to Kelly and Kim to see their list, but most of them were not vendors that, from the businesses.
I was just curious.
But they're down there, and
Yeah.
they're out there, and they're getting the traffic. I live just a little bit farther up, so that would be hard for you to get, unless you had a table and a tent down there,
Right.
you know?
So I did the street fair when I was in the J Mart. I set up a tent out front and put people's things out there. And the problem that the Athens businesses have, which I ran into, was, well, you're local, you're here, I can come back to see you.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
These
God.
other businesses, you know, are only here one day.
So
that
though
sort of
they're a
thing.
big draw,
Right.
they're a big hindrance.
Yes, it doesn't do
My
much of
gosh.
anything for the Athens
Okay.
businesses.
I didn't even think of
I didn't
that.
either.
Yeah.
I
Never
could see
gave
where
that
it
a
was
thought.
happening, but I didn't think of it.
Be
Yeah.
the ultra pessimist right now and
Lot
just
of them.
lob it out there and see what everybody says. But how many of our businesses, of our member businesses, really get a big advantage from the street fair? We burn in a ton of hours.
Lot
That
of money.
isn't helping a lot of us.
A lot of money.
I know. I'm sorry to say that because it would help you, but unless that situation is more prevalent than
Right.
expected, like where they're just not interested in the local and they're just going with
Right.
the people who are coming in. But like, there's a lot of us. Like, we go out, we set up a booth, but
You guys
we
were
always
right
invite
next to us. Yeah.
the animal care sanctuary down to bring some of the dogs and cats that are looking for adoption because nobody wants to talk to the insurance people at the
Right.
street fair. Nobody cares. So the only way we can
We
even
talk
get people to
to you
look
about
at us is if we have a dog or cat under the tent, like literally.
Or you're running one of the games and behind you.
Or
Right, like that.
really good tchotchke.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or you have the good
Even
free
then-
stuff on the table, because that's
Even
what
then, that
people
goes
come
so
and
fast.
take
Like,
off
"Oop,
you.
they're gone. All right.
Right.
They'll just grab it as they walk by. They don't have a conversation. They don't learn who we are. They just have something to put in their pocket now.
So I think everybody's brought up some really great points. Talking to Kyle's pessimism, which I really appreciate you putting it out there. Is it as part of our strategic planning? Are we thinking about that maybe we take, as Becky said, the car show, and instead of having a street fair for a day and a half, which not only requires a lot of work for the ABA, but it also requires a lot of work for those people coming in. So we just do it one night during the car show. We set up tables and work the two together. So we have the crowd coming in for the cars, and then we have a very mini street fair, and there's a band.
You already have a crowd coming in. I'm just thinking out loud, guys. You have a crowd coming in for the music. They're liking the Athens music because it's different. It's different than what they've had previously. There's still some of the same, but there's questions. And these old people like questions. Because let's face
Ginger
it.
would have disagreed with you the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Ginger would not budge on switching up those bands. And
But
see
you
what
know what? It worked, didn't it?
I haven't heard any complaints yet.
That's right. And I haven't either. So maybe to start off, do 2 or 3 or one a month or whatever. Bring stuff in when, like the first Thursday of the month. Bring in your cars. Bring in your vendors. And I mean your table vendors, your businesses, and have something going. I don't know. I'm just
Well, then
throwing it out there.
no, I really appreciate that thinking because
Thanks.
we have basically a captive
That's right.
audience
Right,
who may or may not contribute to the 50-50.
right. But they sure bought
Most
sweet
of-
Charlene.
Right, well, and by the time the music starts, pretty much all of downtown Athens is closed.
Right.
Except for Eli, your steady business all the time.
Right.
So can we work it in somehow? Is this a possibility? Make better use, and not just cars. I love what you're thinking, but
There's other things. too.
maybe, I hate to say this, but like a gun show or something, antique trains. I'm just throwing out
Yeah.
what draws people.
No, but I mean, like, you do the rock show.
Yep.
We do. Yeah, and we do pretty well with the rock.
But I really liked what you had said, Becky, about four events. Like, I think we got really ambitious and threw a lot of things out there, and they were really great ideas and stuff like that. But because there aren't people who are
Oh my goodness.
there aren't enough people who
The big one. Oh,
to
there it
invest
is.
in it. We can't have just this group doing everything. So, if we had 4 core events that, like you said, we make sure they get done really well.
Mhm.
So, and let's talk to the band, the summer concert series. So we are very fortunate in that we had a couple nights where a gentleman who is not part of the ABA was the one who actually did the 50-50 because people who had volunteered couldn't be there. So we're not, one of the things I think we need for the summer concert series is we need backup people. It's that.
We work Thursday nights, both
But
of
no,
us.
I'm not
So
saying that.
that's just such a pain in the
Right,
butt.
and I'm over at the center on
Yeah,
Thursday night,
yeah.
so. You know, it goes back to, I think everybody's quandary is how do we get our members to participate?
That's right.
I think that is truly our biggest
That's a huge thing.
issue right now.
My whole thing when I was president, the whole thing. That was the only thing I focused on was
always
getting that
been-
incentive program, trying to find ways to get people to participate more.
And
It
it's-
So-
did not work.
So I'm not begrudging your incentive program because I think it's great. Don't take
Can
this.
tweak it
that
all
way.
we want. I think having one's a good idea, but
Yes,
obviously
but-
it's not incentivizing enough.
Exactly. So, in the past, I really wish Kelly and Kim would add their perspective as well, and I'll follow up with them. Is it better for us to be knocking on doors and saying, haven't seen you at a meeting? We're looking for people to help with this. Doesn't have to be you, business owner. It could be your daughter, could be an employee, could be a volunteer you have. Have you done that in the past? And if so, has that helped?
We had more like, there were like the core members who always show, there were 6 of us. For the first 3 years that I was in, there were
Look, doesn't that
always
look
the 6
familiar?
of us. Yeah. And, but we each had different people on the block that we talked to.
Yep.
So Deanna would reach out to these ones and, and I would reach out to these ones and
Kim got
everybody
us.
had their own BI. Kim had her people she talked to. And so that was one way we do. Everybody had their own people they would ask. So Deanna would go and talk to Jay's because she was friends with them and she would talk to Lowry's and that's how we more did it. So it wasn't one person going around knocking on doors. Everybody had their little group of contacts that they would get a hold of and
And it wasn't so
approach.
salesy because it was someone you already
Yeah.
had that information to.
Yeah. Yep. And that worked pretty good.
So,
I always had like Batman's and You Like, and that was my group was right down in that area, and they may not so much talk to other people,
so would it be helpful then for us to take a look at the members and go, does anybody have a contact here?
Yeah.
And then we can, divvy up the list to see for the future.
Right. Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah, I can't see your eyes. She could be asleep
Well,
over there.
no, I'm thinking that's a marvelous way to do it because it certainly worked in the past. But I'm also thinking
Right.
about a statement that Kyle has made. What can the ABA do for that person that I'm going to go down and say, hey, we're going to have this event in November, and would you come help? And if that's the case, what can we do for you to be part of that because you are part of the ABA? What can we do to help your business? Because that resonated with me when you said that to me some time ago. That what can the ABA do for them? Because it's always been, what can we do for the ABA?
Right, and you and I even had a conversation.
That's right.
about it.
And so-
Nobody wants to volunteer if you want to be part of the organization. If all you're gonna do is ask me to go volunteer for this, volunteer for that,
Right.
I scream it at the chamber meetings constantly. They're all upset with business associations. Let me just say, for whatever reason, and I think it's more at Sarah than anybody.
Oh, definitely it's safe.
But she did not specify. She
Yeah.
looped all the business associations together for this disgruntled thing that we aren't engaged, we aren't helping them enough. And I straight up said, like, why would we? What have you guys ever done to support the APA? Like,
Right.
why are people gonna want to come and join this organization when you just ask them to do more stuff? Like, how does it help them? And nobody ever has a real answer for me. And I'm like, there's your problem. How are we gonna figure this part out?
And so these business associations are extremely important to each town. ABA is important to Athens.
Right.
Sayre is important to Sayre. Waverly is important to Waverly. So they have to coexist, but they're not going to help each other in a huge event.
We're trying.
So we asked this question on the bottom of the application. Go through the answers in the question and see what we can do there.
Most people answer them.
So they were all super generic. Help me
Marketing.
promote my business. Help, like,
And then they don't.
and
get
then
you
right,
anything.
and then like, okay, here it is. Give me your content. I'm ready to make posts for the month, and I get nothing from. I get one from you guys every now and then, every other month ish,
Okay.
but that's literally it. Like, that's
Are we the
nobody
only
else
ones?
asks me at all. Like, I make my
When
posts.
I'm finished building all my content, I will send it to you.
But yeah, even if it's just like, you know,
Well, the
if you
problem
bring
is there's a lot of people now that don't need you to do that for them. Like,
more, even if it's a tag, but our page is bigger than most businesses.
But I don't
You're
think
the
most
exception in
businesses
our group.
know that.
But your page is bigger than the ABA's. But we got 2,700 people on the ABA page. Make a post, tag your page. It's free traffic. Head right to your page, so they can like your page, and then you can advertise them to them forever. Like, it's that easy. But I can't get anybody to say anything.
So what do you want people to post it on the page?
When I send
And
out
then
that
you
monthly email asking everybody, hey, send me a picture and a little blurb, like, that's it. That's all I need.
How
is,
do you
like,
want it? Do you want it
email it back
to
to
make
me.
it and just post it? Oh, you want it as
Email
an
back, and
email?
I'll schedule it all out, and I'll post it
Oh, I
as
always
the
just try to
ABA
post it on the
business
website 'cause I
as.
didn't know how you wanted it.
Yeah, no.
Oh, so you want it
I'm
emailed to
creating,
you.
yeah, I'm creating the
okay.
content to post it on as a post on our Facebook. So it'll look like we are the ones that said this. So it's like, hey, look, check out our friends at. That's how I start so many of them. Is like, look what our friends at wherever is doing, and like pointing as much attention as I can to the members. And the silver members, I make it all the silver members their own posts that I make myself. That was part of the benefit. So unless you have 25 of the 25 points, you aren't getting that. So that was kind of part of you participate, you're gonna get every month. You'll get a post made for you just like that. And that stuff hasn't worked. So
We'll set you with
perfect.
So to address Becky's comment about how can we get them
You guys are
to
going to tear me under the
participate.
table.
No, that's,
No,
I was
but I
saying the
think
exact same
that-
thing.
I'm trying to keep all the conversations
Okay.
going through my head, and I didn't want to lose what you had brought up. So one of the things that we saw people did respond to, and summer has been really hard because nobody's around, was having people come and talk about their business. People seem to like that. What if we open that up to the concert series over the summer, and people can introduce the band? They can talk about their business for, 2 minutes, whatever.
we also talked about having businesses sponsor, like bring the businesses that sponsor, you bring a table down and you talk.
Absolutely.
We've suggested this over, yeah.
But we need to coordinate. with it.
Exactly.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's our big, and then we go back to, we can't do it all.
Right.
But that brings the point up that the band concerts is a captive audience. That is a good thing.
Yeah.
And you're right, we did talk about
But you're right, Meaghann, things get brought up and.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that.
So one of the things we need to approve on then is to, when we bring something up, somebody has to say they'll take it on. Even if it's to find somebody else to take it on.
But that's difficult to do right now. I think everybody's feeling that we're spinning wheels and we're not going forward. At least that's what I'm getting at.
But if we don't rise up to that challenge,
Right.
all we're gonna do is spin wheel and go forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So that circles us back once again on how do we have enough, how do we get members to participate more? So we have the I'm recapping for Sarah because I know she's down there typing like crazy. We have, having members who sponsor, talk about their business and introduce the band. We have splitting up the member list to see who's friends with whom on it and network it. What else?
Can I ask a question of Sarah Watson? Do the minutes go to all the people, all the businesses on our membership list?
They do.
I was gonna say, I send them to Lissa
Okay,
and then she distributes them.
so I'm wondering, this is just far out there, but I'm wondering if when, shortly after the meeting, something is sent to every business and it says, next month we're gonna be talking, how does your business fit with this? Where can you fit? Please try to come. Why not? It's an
Yeah, no,
invitation.
So
If it's attached to the minutes, they're gonna read the minutes. They might not read a blurb that we're sending out, but they're gonna read the minutes, I think.
I don't think they do.
I don't think at all.
You don't think they do?
Not
No,
even
I think we're
close.
better off sending it as a question. You know what I mean? Just sending it as an email. Lots of people spam filter, grab anything with attachment and ignore it.
I haven't read the minutes.
Really?
Nope.
I actively look for them.
That's good.
God, I
always
read them and print them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. I used to,
It's so old
and I
fashioned.
just,
I know. I
because
have
there's a
nothing.
lot of spinning our wheels and not a lot happening, I just I don't even have time to read what we did 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, and that's just me being very honest with you, but I haven't read the minutes. I have not.
Connie,
I haven't
are
read
you
the,
reading the
to be
minutes?
fair, I've
Oh,
read
yeah.
the Sarah ones either.
But I'm at the
so
meeting
it's
too.
not the-
Yeah. Terry, do you read the minutes?
Sometimes.
Kyle, do you read the minutes?
Not usually. I use my notes.
You write them.
I,
Alright.
I,
read
say
them.
I take my notes and I pin it to right behind my computer desk at work, and that's just kind of my reminder for the month of like, okay, here are the things I got to keep in mind. But
Okay.
that's how I usually do it.
I also think that we need to be putting out action items right away after the meeting.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes the minutes take longer than either one of us wants them to for whatever variety of reasons, and there have been many. But that lets people know this is what we're looking for and why. We always need to include the why.
Or maybe act like I don't know how we communicate it. That's like the biggest problem is there's so much in your ears you can't hear anything, whether it's on through your Facebook or email. Like how you could have the here's what needs required stuff to get done by next meeting. Like
Or these are our goals. for the next
Your-
meeting.
not even goals. Like this is what you are expectations. This is what you are doing this month. And then we do done not saying, okay, we're gonna assign roles, you're doing this, you're doing it, but if it's said at the meeting and it's your thing, that is now put on
Okay.
for everyone in the organization to know, so that if you're dropping the ball ever, you know what I mean? Maybe just some more eyeballs on it and more feeling like, oh, I can't be the one to leave, not do my stuff this month or whatever. Just that, I don't know. I'm not sure how you communicate that to everybody. It's been tough to get everybody.
So I'm thinking about the overloading of too many words. So we're at this meeting, we say, okay, we want us for October meeting, we want to figure out how we can plan blah, 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 or whatever, one or two things. And, we need you. Or can you come and help on this one particular project? Don't overwhelm them with too many projects. Get one project out there and say, we need your help, just like Uncle Sam, we need you. Maybe that would resonate with a couple, I don't know. I'm like you, I don't understand the lack of participation with people that own a business or work a business. I don't understand the lack.
I mean, I understand it. It's again what is the big advantage that they get for being here and participating? What puts
More work.
right? That's what they get, is they get more work. So why bother? That's why people aren't paying attention, because we're not providing enough of an advantage for them to engage and really
Why
be a
can't
part
you
of
be
it.
a member?
I brought this up at the chamber, and it's expected. How is there 241 members of the Chamber of Commerce when 95% of the things they do is say, give us more money?
That's really.
241
expected?
members, and that's the only thing I can come up with. I didn't say that in the meeting, but it's just because people expect it. People, I'm a part of the chamber because everyone's a part of the chamber.
Well, actually, Sarah Business Association, I know I've said this before, you were a member and if you were charged $40 each month that you did not go to a meeting.
Ouch.
And that's no lie, that happened. And that was a
We end
very
up with
active
16 total
business
members.
association at one time. $40 was a lot of money back then. They always sent me because.
I think we're missing telling people the value of participating. So us as a group, the core group, spinning what we get out of it. Not only do you get to meet new faces, get to hear what's going on in the valley, get to, I'm just spinning here.
Right.
If we all get together and put our heads in and say, here's what we think the benefits are, that might help. I don't know how we would convey them. That's down the road.
You could do a campaign about Athens Business Association. You can get every business to be like, Athens Business Association helps me do this. And you can post it once a week, you get a new business, right? This business helps me, Athens Business Association planted flowers in my shop. Athens Business Association did bloody blah. You're like humble bragging.
Right.
Actually, that's very good.
That is very good.
And you can
That's why
put it in
she
the
comes
paper.
with it.
You
I
could.
think we need better incentives. Right, 'cause I agree with the campaign, but like, if I'm a business owner, I don't care about the flowers being planted in my pot.
No, but you've got
Yeah.
That was an
recognition for
example.
it.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not, again, I love the idea. I'm criticizing my own incentive plan that it is not providing enough of incentive. Like we need to have more, and I don't know what that is. I'm just
I think
putting
we
out there.
should
Is there any ideas on like what would there be like?
Contest, and that whoever brings in the most new business association members.
Let me
Hey.
correct that. Run a contest to see how many existing plus members you can get to come to a meeting. It's just like the church I go to. They're always searching for new people, but the 45 people that don't come anymore, they don't care about that. You're on the rolls, you're tithing. It's not a big deal, but it is a big deal. You don't want to lose who you have.
Right.
And I'll shut up. I
No,
will
no,
shut
no,
up.
I-
Honest to God, my mouth runs terrible. You're supposed to shut me up.
Nobody's supposed to shut you up. It's absolutely true that I have a knee-jerk reaction that everything gets done for new members. Even with the phone. So AT&T has changed their policy. If anybody's seen the commercials, so existing members now get the same benefits as new members. I totally agree with you, Becky. That's
Well, it's like, it's like people are saying with the incentives to go to, the incentives, the job hiring incentives. People are now saying, what about job retention?
right.
I mean, same thought process.
Well, and that's the center joined the chamber this month.
Right, I think
And-
huge problem.
And I'm still like, what do I get for coming back? What for renewing next year?
Right. Everybody joins the chamber in their first year because
You get
you get that big
posters,
advertising
you get
campaign
the-
thing.
You
Yeah.
get the ribbon cutting, you
Yes.
get all this stuff in the
Yes.
door, but I say that all the time
That's
too.
it.
It's like, so what
There's
what
nothing
do
else
us
after that.
members that have been here get?
Right. So what do we
Nothing.
get?
I joined the first year and then left the second because I got nothing out of it. And then this year rejoined because of the food thing in the park. Okay, now I'm going to showcase my restaurant at this thing, and that was a reason to rejoin.
Right,
But there's not a whole lot of them.
right. I like
Lot of
making
reasons.
sense of that.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's a
sorry
great
to put you
idea.
on the
spot.
Sorry.
Brag.
We have 4 minutes left of this meeting and I have to go back to
Okay.
my shop. But, so I do have a couple things I wanted to talk about for looking forward real quick. Number one, we're supposed to have the Halloween parade this year.
Are we?
We are.
Cool.
It is Athens' turn. I know it was asked in the Valley, you know, like the business association get together if we would give it to Sarah this year. And I don't think anything was ever discussed or chatted
Why do we
about.
want to give it to Sarah?
Exactly. Well, because they were supposed to have it last year and it was canceled, so they feel like they should get it this year.
No,
I also don't agree with that,
No.
but,
No, I think we should do it and run with it. We should have.
we
get
have
out of
like
that.
the bands and we didn't get. Right, well, and I know that I was asked to touch base with you about Valerie and still like to be completed.
What did she do? What did she do this month? Did she contact anybody in Waverly to set up that venue? I'm sure not. Okay, like, I don't know, like, I told her, like, Rail House doesn't have live music anymore. Tanner and Moonies are, neither of them are paying members of the ABA anymore. I don't know what
Right.
we can really do. Delta's breathing down our neck. I'm not gonna start
Right.
this all up and then
Right,
have it
we're not
canceled
doing
again
this
right
again.
before. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not doing it
that's
again. I
Thank
won't do
you.
it again.
Yep.
'Cause I was like,
Children's
they
spirit
told me,
thing.
oh, they were all gung ho to do this big project, and it ended up being 100% me.
Yep, okay. I just said I would follow through.
Yeah.
But, so I think, who knows the code enforcement guy? You talked to him, right?
You're talking about Matt?
I don't know.
Code enforcement is cheap.
Who can ask if we get, if, is the parade ours? I believe it is ours this year. I was told it is ours
The
this year.
mayors make that decision
Okay. Can,
in their secret meeting.
who can contact whoever to find, so it's not, the week before and we're going, oh, we have a parade this week.
so
Like,
I'm wondering.
I don't want to read it in the paper.
What is the guy's name that is at the Borough Hall? Mark.
Mark Burgess.
Wouldn't it be him that we go through?
Or at
Because-
least he would know. right?
He would know,
the one
town
to say what
supervisor
streets
Mark,
can be
yeah.
Shut down and. this streets have to be shut
I
down.
could reach out to Mark to find out if we're having the parade this year.
And then you have to figure out, have schools been
Right,
the
gonna go
bands someplace else, or, they've been.
Are the schools allowed to participate? 'Cause I know Sarah's super tight on that with their board.
Blair Wayne.
We
Wait,
didn't actually set up the parade when it was in Athens. It was
No,
just there.
we
And
didn't set it up, but we
right.
should know that it's
Right.
happening and we should have a.
yeah,
float,
because
or
then we
should
can
have a-
add to it.
Right,
Yeah.
we absolutely should.
So didn't
Be
we
part
give
of it.
away?
It's a great day to have sidewalk sales
Right.
and stuff. It's
So Terry, didn't we, as
Talk
the
to-
ABA, give away
Brady about
some kind of little crafty kits for kids for the Halloween parade?
I don't know if we did at the parade. We always did on trick or treat night.
Right, but we also did for the ornament thing, but didn't we do something the night of the parade? I thought we did.
So what are our action items? Good for a time.
It's always good to do something in the park.
Mhm.
Absolutely for that.
So
If it was a day or night,
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Parade is usually Saturday morning.
it's usually Saturday morning,
Right.
right?
I know across from the library. One time where the library's gonna shine.
Yeah. So action items, got to find out if it's here
Right,
and then regroup it before that.
yeah, I am fine with being like the go person for that. If we have
Okay.
it, I will reach out to see who would like to be part of a committee on this, because we desperately need to be more visible. Absolutely. We
Yeah.
should do, I think that we should do the, the Christmas parade the day after Thanksgiving. We absolutely should have a float or a truck or whatever, all of these things. We just should. So I cannot run that one, because I have to run Sarah Theaters one.
There you go.
But, the Athens Business Association, so many people say, I didn't even know you guys have one of those, and that. People need to open.
The
their
Santa
eyes
coming
on.
to town was always great.
Yeah,
I had the elf costumes. My workers dressed up like elves and they gave out coupons from different businesses in the
Right.
park, and And the one group came and did the luminaries, and we had
I was gonna say,
cocoa.
we
And
had the
I
whole
know.
thing lined up.
I
That
know,
was fun.
well, and so that's the other thing we need to decide, are we doing a Santa this year? Are we not doing a Santa this year? Is Delta gonna decide for us? We're not doing Santa this year.
That's the big problem right now.
Yeah,
is
we
Delta gonna get
planned
it.
the whole, we did
Yeah, and
the
we-
drive-through Christmas thing all planned up. And then Randy
Yeah.
last the day of, nope, nothing, none of that's happening. Cancel it all.
That's so
Oh,
hard.
it just killed us.
Yeah.
Kyle and I both tears. Like I was like, I'm done. I'm done with everything involving anything anymore.
So, back to action items.
We need to contact.
Mark
Mark.
Burgess.
Yeah, got it?
I will contact Dave Jarrett to find out what we have to do to have a float or a truck or whatever for the Sarah Christmas parade. Are we all in agreement that we should have something there?
Yeah.
I cannot run it, so someone else is gonna have to volunteer to be helpful for it.
Hasn't
Nothing
for the
is it?
hospital already in the parade.
Well, and maybe this is where we contact, I contact Heath Robinson and say, hey,
Yes,
they
they have the equipment.
right, but we'll need, we're gonna need people walking, handing out, I think he wants a great idea, or even business cards to businesses and. the
So why
ADA.
not check with the Athens High School, maybe the art committee or something to design a float, put it together for the Athens business.
Yeah.
Pull some of these families in.
Who wants to do that?
That's Andy Bales. At the Athens High School. Bales? Yeah, Kurt Priester.
I think we should start with the Halloween parade and see what we do
Yeah,
before we jump into the stair parade.
well, the Sarah Parade is the day after Thanksgiving, so it's coming real quick, because that's always been our issue too, is we have really
Right.
great ideas very close to the
Yeah.
event. And then we're always scrambling and doing it halfway, so. Yeah.
For us.
Yes, it is.
Any other action items?
I always go back to the thought of Becky's with the,
I'm so sorry.
the cornhole game. That's so big. Everybody loves to play cornhole. You always look for people looking for places to drive. People drive quite a ways just to play in them,
That was debilitating to us because we were working with Mooney's.
Yeah, but this is the perfect place right here. You got this place right here, so you can have someone just playing a guitar or some kind of music and have a bunch of
You can
cornholes
move your
going
table
through
though,
and have
though.
a wholesale or
This one
snacks
doesn't.
and everything.
This
and-
one doesn't move, but the other ones do. Or this way.
Yeah, everybody loves playing it,
Maybe 3 cents.
We got such beautiful
How
weather
late
in the
is-
fall,
Earth
but it gets
911
dark
open.
earlier in the fall too, though.
4
So
4
we
and
could-
5, depending on the day, and she's closed on weekends.
So we could take over the parking lot,
Oh, yeah.
have people park on the street.
Yeah, and there's a lot of on-street parking all the way around. I mean, when the construction guys aren't out.
The construction that takes forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't,
Well, they block everything off. Then we lose a lot.
although this is the perfect spot for it. Don't most people that
You're
play
not right.
cornhole, drink
Thank
beer?
you, everybody.
I was gonna say, the lack of alcohol will hurt that crowd.
I have beer, but
I know-
but
I
people
know.
love to have their beer.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
cornhole, people kind of go to
Terry,
bars.
you got a whole year to get a liquor license. Okay, 9
There you
months.
go.
We actually did
Thank
quite well
you.
in some of our Halloween
That's
events and
an
stuff
action
that you
item
would
for me.
normally see at a bar.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of
Yeah.
people around.
They
here
don't
who
want the
cannot
bar.
drink.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mooney's is great and all, but Tanner's
Just come out and have a good
Just a
time.
location.
Have a good joint,
Yeah.
have a
building,
good
the
time.
premise, he's got the outdoor gazebo, not like, there's no reason
What if
we
we?
need to get him back in.
Not
We
that
gave
I'm
him the,
gonna take
we
anything
gave him
away
the
from
business
Sure, but
leader of the
you know
year
that I-
award for it.
Oh, yeah.
Failed.
But what if we looked at doing at the Playland and, a space that big, like if we need more than 3 or 4.
They are members.
The Playland is another good place, and then, if it's not your
Parking
choice.
also.
They've got that
There
nice
is
kitchen too.
parking. Yeah,
Yep,
and
they
they've
do.
got,
There's a good,
The-
good chance to make more food to sell, to make more money.
yeah, they've got.
You know?
that kitchen and
Yeah,
everything.
that's great.
See if you can get all the members to donate some food.
Okay, Connie,
Everybody just cooking and baking.
you're in charge of moving this forward.
Thank you, everybody. I'm sorry I was a Debbie Downer.
You were not a Debbie Downer. Gotta hear it.
Yep, yep.
Need to work to be better.
Yep.
So appreciate it. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Hell, I thought you'd be
Oh.
on the microphone. Sarah Watson for coming to help us that night. It was fabulous.
Mhm. Good seeing you again.
You too.
So I'm gonna ask you a question that pertains to your business. I have an outdoor cat that was fixed maybe 5 years ago. Don't get him home. I built this elaborate thing for her in the winter. I feed her every day. It's getting older. I want her inside. I have not gotten her to come to me yet. If I can get her to a point